We need it. Oxygen. It's why we breathe.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Small Biz Buffet. And we are going to be diving in, as we do every week, on different topics about small businesses, hearing from small business owners themselves who walk the talk, right? This is exactly what we need. I'm really excited. I've got a former classmate here. We did the Rutgers Entrepreneur Pioneering Initiative, which is a big mouthful. It's just an intense one-year program that teaches us all of the bits about entrepreneurship. And I met Melanie Rudin through that. She is the founder of Mighty Communications, so she knows a thing or two about marketing, branding, and social media, which we'll cover. And she's also the founder of the Jersey City Restaurant Owners Coalition, helping them with restaurant and food tasting weeks and all this kind of great stuff. So, Melanie, welcome to the show.
Hi, it's good to see you, Laurelyn. I miss our classes together.
I know we had a lot of fun, didn't we? A lot of great folks in there and people doing all kinds of things and really leaning into each other and helping each other, which I was tremendously impressed by.
With me, it was all about jealousy and the need to compete, but it helps to set a fire under my behind. So I really enjoyed that.
Which is good. We had, I think for the most part, the folks that I was interacting with, I know we were in different pods and things usually and stuff. I felt very supportive, but I did see, of course, there's always that little bit of that, but that's what this podcast is about, is that we get away from that nonsense and we lean on each other and say, how can I uplift you? What can I do for you that you may need or may benefit from, right? And not looking for a linear transaction. Well, Melanie, if I did it for you, then you need to do this. No, that's not it.
It's
It's
a
it's
waste
a
of
karma
time.
bank deposit, and that the world just gets better.
Well, and it energizes you as well because it takes you back to a place where you were and allows you to re-see that. I believe that mentorship is a requirement, especially among women. I think that women really need to support each other because we don't have an old boys network. We have a new girls network, which is really just women supporting women in terms of understanding that our obligations are more than just work-based. We actually don't compartmentalize well. So really what we need to do is, help women understand how you can balance it when it's all in one bucket. My life, my relationships, my job, my passion, and some sort of thing that brings you joy that isn't work. All of that is really
Right.
critical. So yeah, and you need to support women in that.
Absolutely. And that's why I enjoyed our pre-podcast recording where we got into a little bit of that because it's so important. She said we're human, right? We're not just automatons going through life and saying, this is the business I have to do. We're people.
Exactly right.
All right. So just in case I slaughtered your opening line and who you are and really what you're good at, why don't you tell our audience in your words?
So my name is Melanie Rudin, and my company is MIT Communications. And basically, what we are experts at helping small to mid-sized businesses become visible digitally, which is everything. Because the reality is that without a storefront or what have you, you absolutely need digital reach in order to succeed and move forward. And digital information can even be used in the real world to help you make more decisions about a brick and mortar. For example, you desperately need the statistics and the data that digital provides, but it's also a cost-effective way used properly to scale a small business to a mid-sized business, et cetera, et cetera. So we're in the business of digital visibility.
Ooh, I like that. That's great. See, again, you're a branding expert. You know these things, right?
Absolutely.
So, Melanie, expert in digital visibility, you have a lot of clients and other small businesses and larger businesses. What are you seeing out there? What are they getting right, wrong? What's trending? Kind of give us the lay of the land.
So small businesses are the beating heart of commerce. Despite the dire predictions and the uncertain employment landscape, we're seeing entrepreneurs looking for opportunities and seizing them, which I love. I love the fact that people are willing to take that leap. Um, What are they doing right? People are following their passions. You never lose money by investing in yourself. That being
Mhm.
said, a leap of faith should be a considered leap of faith. You need a business plan. You need to not invest over your head, and you need to monitor your progress with data, not feelings. And don't be afraid to
Mhm.
fail. Because right now, people are like, oh, what if I fail? Well, you're probably not going to learn anything if it's only success or nothing happens at all. You have to make mistakes. There were 99,000 iterations of the light bulb before one of them went on. It's really critical to make mistakes in order to move forward. What's trending or what I'm seeing going forward is, of course, and I know you've probably heard this 1,000 times, but ChatGPT and AI are everything right now. And I'm wowed by how ubiquitous it is and how fast it learns. Because I took a poke at it last year and I'm like, meh, not so much. But there's so much help available now for business owners to get a head start on everything from proposals to pitches to images and design. It's really exciting. But what people have to remember is AI gives you the information it has or has gleaned, but when it doesn't know, it makes things up. It actually makes things up, like a toddler trying to gain approval. So AI is a tool, it's a crutch, but you still got to do the walking. And you really, really have to look at it and go, okay, this is my jumping off place. This is where I'm going to get started, but I'm going to have to be vigilant and diligent. I was going to say dilettante, that's not right. And diligent about looking at it and going, first of all, is it accurate? Second of all, is it human? Because when I look at a website or copy that has been written by AI, the one thing that's missing, the secret sauce, is the humanity. You need to make it yours. You need to personalize. You need to not be afraid. I just actually read a resume a minute ago. I'm like, this is horrendous. It will never get this person a job, nor will an AI generated website, nor will an AI generated pitch letter or any of these other things, proposal decks, etc., unless you're inserting yourself into it. So my concern is while everybody should use these tools to get a head start. But they really need to be careful about putting themselves in the equation in such a way that you can explain what your unique selling proposition is. Who are you? Why you? I'm not investing in Chat GPT. I'm investing in Laurel and Mears. Who's Laurel and Mears? What does she do? Why her and not somebody else? Chat GPT can't tell you that. So that's the thing that I'm worrying about. That's what's trending. Um, it's very exciting, but proceed with caution.
Exactly. And to that end, since last summer, I've been training on my own large language model and getting it to really know me intimately and going back and forth. And I am freaked the freak out with respect to how much that it has internalized and personalized and brought me into the brainstorming and ideation and messaging and things that we're going back and forth on. It really is incredible once it starts to get to know you. It's almost eerie where it's at that edge of who's Laurelin, right? Like, which one? Was it this one or was it this? So it's, yeah, a little freaky deaky and it all depends on how you use it. But it has taken a year almost, let's see, 8, 9 months of daily investment of hours per day going back and forth and training it and having it refine what its output is, how that output looks, what the tone is, all of that sort of stuff. So it's a big investment to
Unlike
get it
chat,
close to right.
unlike chat GPT and what it's learning from you, you're going to be influenced by something in your world and be changed tomorrow.
I
So
agree.
be
And I'm not
aware
using
of that.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But what I'm saying is that just in general, these large language programs don't really, they aren't going to be able to change the way you do. And that's the difference. And being able to look at that and say, is that, is that really me? Is that who I am? And what's the world around you like? And how are you responding to that? Because that's what your clients are going to want. They're going to want you to be able to respond to what they want. It's funny. I was looking on the Super Bowl, there was a commercial, and there's inevitably a commercial that I don't remember the product, but I love the commercial. It was a guy who was a stay-at-home dad who was pitching for a job after having been a stay-at-home dad, and he was practicing with ChatGPT the questions that he would be asked and how he would respond to them. And he was saying things like, well, I really, pride myself on being able to run teams well. And meanwhile, you see his kids running around or is like, or working on complex projects, and you see his kids doing a arts and crafts project and things like that. And what he was able to do with the software, hardware, whatever we call it, was to figure out his own path and how to explain it and how to respond. That's an amazing tool. Amazing tool. I actually called a friend who's coming back into the workforce, and I said, you have to see this commercial and you have to work on your pitch with someone, and this is a great way to do it. So all of that's really wonderful, but like I said, really important for you to think about who you are and to check in on yourself. What's changing? What's changing in the current political structure? What's currently changing here? What are both sides of the story? I don't think that ChatGPT or AI is actually very good at being able to see both sides of the story. It has an opinion, it likes that opinion, and then it moves on. Not
Right.
great when you're dealing with human beings. They need to see the breadth of experience, and that's really critical. So use it, but be wise.
I agree. And then two things on that. One we'll get to on the topic of success and how your definition has changed. I'm going to queue up for the next question. But around that whole thing of being able to pivot, I was focused on helping minority women business entities get government grants. But we all know that there's been a shift in the administration in the US. And so that's not really a viable business model anymore. I've had to expand, pivot again. You've got to look at that and say, okay, how am I going to be prepared? And then teaching my clients how they can read the tea leaves, look at the assets they have, and figure out this is the best path forward. I know you wanted this one, but given everything, we're going to go this way. That's the best advice. And so you've got to look at all of that,
It
right?
comes back down to the thing is, well, that's nice, but what else you got? What else you got, Laurelyn? Because we don't need this, but we need that. Like
Right.
I build websites. A lot of people are changing to a designed website, that's done with AI, and before they know that it's not good or that it's not doing what they want it to do, there's not contracting for a new website. But I'm finding a lot of business coming from the people who have used those services
Right.
and now need to actually fix it, or they need to
Yeah.
maintain what they already have. And technology actually throws all kinds of interesting things in your face. Right now, it's creating accessibility on websites because people are getting sued for not having something that's ADA compliant. Or another thing, SMS messaging, you now have to have privacy policies and SMS permissions on your website in order for the services to provide the SMS service. Excuse me. More work for me.
Yeah.
And that,
Well,
so,
goody goody, right?
exactly.
On that
Well,
side.
and also being able to understand what that is. I had not heard about SMS permission till yesterday when two
That's new, I
clients
think.
came at me at the same time. I'm like, what's this? Again, being able to pivot, having a team in place that I can ask those questions to, really important. That's part of the pattern of growth is being flexible and being able to move in a way that's agile in this environment. But
Yes.
I still do websites. I just do different things, you know? So, and that
Exactly.
you
You have
need
your
to look at the
core.
breadth of what you're
Yeah.
doing, as you
Yeah.
did.
That's just it. Right. And you have to. So to your
Yeah.
point, last week I got calls actually over the weekend. Some of my clients were like, "Ah, where did all my Google reviews go?" Like, oh yeah, no one knows if it was a Google glitch and what happened, but multiple business owners lost their reviews, myself
Ugh,
included. I lost a good chunk of them. I don't know where they've gone. They haven't come back. They've come back for some people, but there's nothing it seems we can do on this end, but you've got to be prepared for that. All right, back to you here. So
right.
let's talk about Because everybody says, oh, over time, things shift. So, has your definition of what success as a business owner means to you, has that shifted?
Absolutely. Um, in full transparency, I will be 65 in May. And I started my business 5 years ago. And this was a new business for me, building websites. I'd been asked to do things and I'd done some marketing, but um, I envisioned tons of clients. I envisioned multitudes of staff, scads of money, because why go into something if you're not going to be wildly successful? And the answer is there's a lot that gets packed into that. There is stress. There are clients that you don't want to deal with. There is money that it isn't actually worth it to give away a portion of your life for. So success when I was thinking about this business and even before this in my life, success was actually bigger and louder and, generous amounts of money and whatnot. And now what it looks like is a manageable growth. It is clients that I like. It's the ability to turn down clients that don't work for me, which I have done. Firing the client, one of the most liberating things I've ever done, and
Isn't
only
it
done under severe duress. But it's been done, and literally, I was richer for it the moment I did it. But success actually looks like um being able to really be proud of the work I'm doing, feel like I'm learning all the time, feel like I'm giving my time to things like the Jersey City Restaurant Owners Coalition, which is something that I absolutely love, and I'm watching it grow, and I'm excited about that. But at first I was calling it my hobby, which made it diminutive sounding, but it really is a passion project because I believe that it's very hard to fight with someone over a dinner. I mean, it can be done, especially, but in a restaurant, it's more difficult because you're in a restaurant. But it's just in general, if you're over good foods, there are more things that connect us than separate us. So it's really important to me that restaurants keep happening because so many people can't cook. So many people can't cook. I personally, I'm a former baker. My husband's a former restaurant chef. We've got it covered up. We still want to be able to go out and eat someplace else. But that's exciting for me. But my business allows me to dedicate my time to things that I'm passionate about that won't make money right away. I didn't really envision that before. Um, I want to be able to enjoy the things that I do and do things that I'm proud of, and both of those things are happening. That's more of what I see as success going forward. Having enough money to live and live well, travel some, buy the things I want. All of those things are part of it. Employ people, keep their families going,
Mhm.
also happening. To me, that's what success looks like now.
And that's, I think, really important to be able to look back and say what you want and how that changes, and just having that internal awareness about where things are going. And to that end, if we think about being aware, we learn the hard way, right? All of these mistakes. You said at the beginning of the podcast that if you just have massive success from day one, you don't learn anything. Now, arguably, you could say, well, it doesn't matter. I don't need to learn. I'm a gazillionaire. Or you can say, well, because most people, it doesn't happen that way, that they've had all of these different mistakes, and you can either be defeated by them or learn from them and use them as a stepping stone, right, to the next thing. So talk to us about the mistakes that you're seeing that clients are making. You talked a little bit about AI and people being so reliant on it that it just lacks that human connection that's needed to connect a brand to a product, to the loyalty, to the trust, to initiate that purchase decision. What other mistakes are you seeing that's happening out there?
So you don't know this, but I'm actually a member of the New Jersey Small Business Development Corporation's uh, Small Business Council. I'm on the board of directors there, and very often not taking advantage of what's available, saying I'm too busy to lay the groundwork is actually a guarantee of, if not failure, out and out failure, in a lot more struggle than you would think. We had talked just before the podcast about massive RFPs and all of this information that people are requiring, but there's certain basic steps that need to be taken. A rudimentary business plan, a 5-year financial plan, getting help from things like the New Jersey SBDC or the NJEDA or any of those companies that offer mentoring, counseling, the SCORE, which is the something of retired executives, is another place for getting mentoring. Ask some questions. Go with the resources. I'm seeing too many people who are going it on their own with information from their uncle or their sister. I heard somebody the other day talking about crowdfunding a business or going to relatives for money or friends for money. And I'm like, I started to shudder. This to me would be insane because in trying to fund your business, you're going to take relationships and put them at risk. Not a good idea. That's not a business plan. I don't say you shouldn't get money from your mom. That's a little different. But what I am saying is, what other resources are out there? The NJEDA gives away tens of thousands of dollars in funding. PSE&G will pay for your new electrical appliances and will give you credits on your power. There's a lot of money out there, but all of this, you need to be able to get into networks of people who are going to help you find these things. You need to ask for help. You just need to literally stand in the middle of a room full of people just like you and yell, help, 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 because it will come to you. It will be extraordinary the amount of money that you get and the amount of support that you'll get and experience you'll get. So what I'm saying is what most business owners don't do, and they should, is make a plan, ask for help, and then use those two things to execute that plan.
Spot on. And I know we're starting to like wind down towards the end of our podcast here. So just a couple more questions.
Okay.
If you had the chance, again, through your role there on the New Jersey Small Business Development Council or through any other roles and networking opportunities you have, if you could tell business schools and our local colleges who are doing workshops and things and say, you need to teach X so that entrepreneurs that are rising get this, what skill, what do they need to know?
I want them to drill it down. It's not as complex as people think. Um, I actually attended a seminar on how to write a business plan only because I was actually presenting afterwards. And I sat and watched this man say, this is really easy. And then 17 slides later, the glazed look on people's faces. Number one, he didn't have a lot of passion for it. Number two, it was too much information. Sit down there, ask yourself 4 or 5 basic questions. What do I want to do? What's the market for what I do? Even if it's basic understanding. How much money can I expect to make? How much money do I need to get started? The 4 questions. The fifth question could be anything. Why me and not somebody else? That's your basis of a marketing plan. Then from there, you get really nervous and start talking about financials. Okay, you're going to need to figure out how much it costs to buy that hot dog cart. That's part of the work. But really, I think that at the end of the day, the most important thing that people can do is start with some very basic information, then flesh it out. The business plan becomes a living document and it grows as you grow. But you can't execute without a plan. That's just a dream. Dreams are very nice, but eventually you're going to wake up, and how hard you wake up is on how long you've spent dreaming.
Truth.
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
done some dreaming, Melanie.
Haven't we all? Haven't we all? First 3 or 4 businesses. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I didn't learn this lesson by succeeding every single time.
There you go. Right. No, truth said. All right. So as we're winding down here, signature question. If we got to peek into your closet and looked at all of the footwear that was in your closet, your sandals, your flip-flops, your boots, your this, your that, which pair of footwear personifies who you are? And tell us about that pair of shoes or boots, whatever it is, and why that represents who you are.
Okay. That's actually really easy because I do have a favorite shoe. It is a pair of suede embroidered fur-lined boots. They kind of look like Sherpa boots. They are extremely warm, they're extremely comfortable, but every time I put them on, someone's like, "Where did you get those?" And it's the start of a conversation. There's nothing better in the world than starting a conversation. And it can go anywhere. The potential in the start of a conversation is extraordinary. So when people talk about this, that, or the other thing being a conversation piece, that's it. And all I really want to do is connect with another human being, find out who they are and what they're doing, because it's not only going to inform my journey with them, but it's actually probably going to teach me something that I need going forward in those snazzy boots.
Oh, I love it. That's why I love asking this question. It is my signature question because I have done this hundreds of times and it's never the same answer, which is really what makes it fun. All
Name of
right.
the company
So,
is Johnny Was. So if you ever get a chance, take a look. They do have fabulous stuff, but you need like two pieces because too many and you start to look like a Christmas tree. Overly
okay.
decorated and seasonal.
Not that there's anything wrong with
Not that
that.
there's
I like
anything.
flashy and splashy, but there we go. All right. Tell folks how they can find you at MIT Communications. Where can they find you? Are you on
So
LinkedIn, Instagram? Where are you?
MIT Communications, MITCOMMUNICATIONS.com. I named my company for Mighty Fine Pudding, actually. But I used an I instead of a T. And you can find me on LinkedIn, Melanie Rudin. Um, just follow the breadcrumbs. I'm right there. Also on Instagram as JC Restaurant Fest. And the JC Restaurant Owners Coalition. If you want to know where to eat in and around Jersey City, it's very fun to follow that feed, and twice a year you'll see lots of bargains and things that you can get during our two-week restaurant fest. But you'll also see what's new and happening. Like I just recently encountered a Ukrainian restaurant that I didn't know existed
Hmm.
in Jersey City. Very excited about that. Um, and so find me there as well. Or just shoot me an email at melanie.a.rudin@gmail.com, which is my personal email. I'll make sure that I talk directly to you.
Excellent. And now you've got me thinking. My grandparents were Ukrainian, and now I'm thinking about a really good bowl of borscht. It would be excellent. But there
See?
we go.
And that's fabulous food as well. But yeah, Ukrainian food, who knew? And that's part of what I love about doing that. I was telling a restaurant owner that I met with the other day who owns something called Wurst Bar. Wurst Bar does all kinds of hot dogs. And he and I were talking, and he's like, "Well, why do you do this?" I'm like, "Because I want to tell people I know that guy." I said, chefs are amazingly magical people to me. I want to just go out there and meet the chefs and talk about what you do, and that gets me excited. So, having that passion project is everything to me. I'm more than gifted in what I'm doing. And I was actually talking to Jersey City Council President Joyce Waterman the other day, and she's like, we were at an event that had garnered a really great response. There are about 80 people there, 50 restaurants. And she's like, they just see your love. And at the end of the day, that's what you should hear about your business. They just see your love because that makes everything just so special. No amount of chat GPT or AI could ever do that.
Cheers to that. And as we finish up, I've got my, heart things, my little love. So sending love to you, Melanie, and
Thank
to
you.
all of your
Thank you.
restaurant owners in Jersey City.
Happy
Thank you
Valentine's
so much.
Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, and thank you for being on our show. We'll get this live, and everybody out there, we love your feedback and comments. Comment down
Excited.
below. Thanks, everyone. And how about that fantastic intro by Touch Circle?